You got everything? Yeah, I got the sage and the map in my pockets. I told my mom we were headed out to look around at some parts of the island nearby for school. We'd be back before it got too dark. Will we? Minor details. Let's go. Okay.
Chelsea Eartha, what a surprise! Hale isn't home right now. She's out researching for school before the sun fully goes down.
Good evening, Mrs. Hunter. Oh, really? Huh, that's funny. For the history of the island, I presume?
Why, yes.
That's weird, because we finished that assignment earlier today. Oh, and, I saw something that may interest you.
What? Arlene is so smart and dedicated. She's been studying all week for island history. It's truly endearing to see. Why, just the other day, she was telling us she was out in the rainy weather with her friends looking for things to report about the island to Miss Eartha. I do believe we are raising a little genius.
Buckley told his mother and brother while I was out at work that he and his friends were playing in the mud around that time.
Well, if I may chime in for a moment, I saw them headed out towards the more woodsy area a while back, and when I asked them what they was up to, they looked rather distracted. Lynn, will you hurry up? We haven't checked this side of one of the other coves yet. It could be there, but we have to get there before dark. Shake a tail, Lynn. The wind is blowing pretty hard up here, too, and I can see the fog rolling in. The weather's gonna get really bad soon, so we better get away from the cliffside as soon as possible. Lynn, did you hear what we just said? I'm gonna go home. What? We've been lying and deceiving everyone, Hale, and that's wrong, even if we're doing it for the right reason. And not only are we telling false truths to our parents and the other adults, but now Constance, the person we're trying to help. It's just too much. I can't do it anymore. She said we should stop, and I'm inclined to believe that she's right. Fine. You head back and see if I care. You'll only slow us down anyway with your whining and complaining about how morally superior you are to Buck and I. I'm sick of it, Lynn. We'll be better off without you and your apathetic attitude. That's not fair, Hale. I care about Constance and Christopher just as much as you two do. But there has to be a line. Can't help them if we're dead. Go. I'm sick of your lecturing. Fine.
Buckley!
Lynn!
Where are you three hooligans?
Lynn, wait. Hale, guys, girls, whatever, come back. Forget her, Buck. You can find the light just as easily without her. But Hale! Lynn! Lynn!
Oh my lord! Lynn! I am disappointed in you, Buck. You lied to us and nearly got Lynn killed.
What is wrong with you, Buckley? Haven't you learned anything we've taught you?
Mr. and Mrs. Flockhart, he was helping me. It wasn't his fault that Lynn fell off the cliff. It was more my fault anyway. We got into an argument and...
It was all of your blessed fault.
How long's the doctor been in there? Is she okay?
She'll be fine. She just needs rest. She nearly broke her leg, but it seems to be faring all right.
Whew.
Hale, Buck, come with us. We need to talk to you. In the next room. Now. You were forbidden from this lighthouse nonsense. Not only did you go against our commands, but you lied to and deceived every single adult you came into contact with in the past week. Hale Bill Hunter, I've never been more disappointed in someone in my entire life. You are grounded for 2 months. You are not to go anywhere without a grown-up's escort, and your chores will be doubled.
Yes, ma'am.
The same goes for you, Buckley.
Yes, sir.
And another thing.
Father?
The lighthouse has been a burden on this island for too long. After tonight's incident, the town gathered at Town Hall and is elected to tear it down. It's far too condemned to repair, and we can't risk you three or any other children going near it. Ever again.
What?
You need to learn to curb your imagination, Miss Hunter. Your outbursts are getting concerning. Now come on, we are going home.
But, Dad, you can't do that!
Buckley, we're going home too, immediately.
But, no!
Blythe, you know very well you had a strong part in this disaster. One of the children was almost killed horribly. You cannot tell Hale these stories anymore. That is enough. I am putting my foot down. It was you who began this in the first place, even before Hale was born. Thank God Hall had less than half the imagination Hale does, or Lord knows what would have happened to him. I want you to stay away from her for the first week of her grounding. Can you promise me that? She needs time to just be a normal girl. Once these 2 months are up, I'll have scrubbed that insolence clean from her. She will be a proper, normal young lady. Is that understood? Understood, Jill. I'm sorry, Father, but this is the way it has to be. For Hale's own good. I understand.
Come in?
Hello, Hailstorm.
Grandfather? I thought you...
Your mother has allowed me to come in and apologize to you for filling your head with nonsense.
But Grandfather, you were right, there really is... Shh.
I believe you, Hale.
You... Wait, what?
When I was a teenager, some things happened. I don't have time to explain everything. I want you to have this journal of mine, but long story short, I saw your lighthouse ghost. She needs your help still, Hailstorm. You're the only one who can save her and her husband.
But... how? I'm under lockdown here, Grandpa. I can't exactly just walk out. You want me to sneak out?
Go to the lighthouse, speak with the woman's spirit, read the journal as much as you can. Save her husband. Do what I couldn't, granddaughter. Do what your father didn't believe enough to do.
Okay.
All right, Blythe. Did you explain to her that all of your stories are fictional and not to be taken seriously, and that you will no longer waste her time with them? Yes, Jill. Hale, I know you may hate me right now, but I only want what's best for you. I want you to be safe. I don't want you to get hurt. If I come off as harsh and overbearing, it's because I care.
You can care nicely, you know. Okay, you can do this, Hale. You can do this. Woo! I'm so sorry, Constance. I should have listened to you, but I just wanted to help.
The lighthouse is getting torn down?
What's gonna happen if they do that?
When a person dies and their spirit is allowed to stay on Earth because of unfinished business, their soul connects to the building they passed on in, and if not a building, then an important object they died close to. I suppose I will go on into the afterlife without Christopher.
My grandfather says he believes me. He gave me this journal. He said that there may be a way to still save you both. Entry 1. I went into the lighthouse this evening, and the creaking floorboards made me leave before I could approach the figure upon the stairs. A figment apparition of my own mind? Or could this be the ghost of that poor woman who died when I was a child?
The woman forgot.
He did see you, Constance.
Your grandfather must have been the one I saw all those years ago, but why did he never come back?
The woman forgotten? I did some digging in the library. The librarian kept staring at me. I think she knows what I'm doing, but why is the look a look of pure suspicion? I found a book on the paranormal to help me better understand what I may be dealing with when I make my return to the lighthouse this week after work. Entry 3. I was threatened, I think. Mr. Charlotte spoke to me today, and the words he used, the tone. For some reason, it appears that the whole town just wants me to stay away from that lighthouse. Wants me to forget that she ever existed. But why? What? Why would James Charlotte's son threaten my grandfather? Who were you to him, Constance? Constance? What's wrong? Are you okay? James Charlotte's son. You knew him, didn't you? Terrence Charlotte. Who was he to you?
Hale, I never told you my maiden name, did I?
What? No, what is it?
It's Charlotte.
What? But then that means...
I am the granddaughter of the second founder of this island. Yes.
But Constance, my teacher, everyone on the island told us that James Charlotte never had any grandkids.
My father, my whole family, they must have wanted the entire island to forget my existence after I had died. They wanted their name out of the shame and embarrassment of what happened.
Constance, I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry. It's awful.
I should have known. Why no one ever came here before you after your grandfather? Why no one wondered if my ghost resided here? It all makes sense now. I should have told you my maiden name sooner. I should have realized what was happening. It was all right there in front of us, Hale.
Does that mean your fiancé, was he...
Fowler Radburn. We were to marry because of our grandfathers being the founders. Tying the families together would have made us all very wealthy and even more respected than we already were.
My school says that Fowler was jilted by a hussy and that made him die of a broken heart.
What? How? Fowler, he died? When? How soon? But I suppose that makes sense. He would have never allowed such things to be said about me, or have allowed my memory to be forgotten completely. Unless they silenced him as well.
It says here that my grandfather visited the library again, but was finally confronted by the Charlottes and told never to go near the lighthouse again or speak of ghosts. But before that, he was able to learn a bit about them, about how the light would bring Christopher back. He also talks about how you knew you were waiting there for him, and that you were bound there. The journal goes on about my grandfather's life, how he married my grandmother, the day my dad was born, and how he told the story of a woman in the lighthouse to my dad, in the hopes that he would go searching and find you and help you.
He turned me into a legend, so that his child could save me.
But it only made my father afraid of the lighthouse. In the final entry, it's the day I was born. It says,
I will tell the little hailstorm many tales of my days, including the legend of the lighthouse, in the hopes that she will do what I and her father did not, in the hopes that she will learn the truth and put this town to right at last. May she be blessed with a burning curiosity, a determined mind,
and a heart full of empathy. That's the final entry.
Did he ever say anything about the gamblers?
No, but there's a page torn out here. I wonder why. Constance, do you still have that message from Christopher?
Of course, yes. I've barely parted with it since you three found it.
Can I see it, please?
Of course. What is it?
The books I read make detective work look so much easier. Wait, I think I got something. Oh my shellfish.
What have you found?
Constance, tell me more about your fiancé. Was he really a nice guy?
Yes, I mean, he courted me wonderfully. If he had been my type at all, I would say he was a brilliant fiancé. He took me to the island's waterfall once on our second date after being betrothed. It was quite romantic, but nothing beat that lighthouse date Christopher and I had. Fowler was very kind, yes. Though I always suspected he had a bit of a temper. He did yell at a poor person on the street once. It was very off-putting and out of character, but why do you ask, Hale?
Was Christopher ever one to be into codes and things?
What?
His message, look. There's capital letters where they shouldn't be.
Christopher was a voyager, Hale. He never went to school and traveled all his life. Literacy wasn't his strongest suit.
No, you don't understand. The letters, if you put the first 6 together... Constance, they spell Fowler.
What?
I don't think the gamblers took the light. I think it was Fowler Radburn.